Welcome to Manifest, hosted by international evangelist, teacher, and author Perry Stone. Enjoy unique insight into prophetic and practical truth. It's time to feast on fresh manna, so get ready to be blessed and encouraged. And now, here is your host and teacher, Perry Stone.
In the many years that we have been on the Manifest telecast around the world, 180 nations of the world, we have come by this place, but we've never actually taped from Caesarea Philippi. And we are here today on top of the hill. It's a huge mountain behind me. There are niches in the side of this mountain where the god Pan, who was an idol worshipped here centuries ago, where the god was placed. And this is the area, if you'll read your Bible, where Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi and asked his disciples, "Who do men say that I am?" One of the interesting things about this area is there are, in the archaeological excavations, there are incense altars made out of stone that are located in this vicinity. As I've traveled this land over the years of having tours and tour groups, I have noticed that in a lot of places where the Israelites conquered, they would build an altar unto the Lord, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, the patriarchs. But I also know that in the same vicinities would be pagan altars in which they would build an altar to their God. So on the Manifest program today, I'm going to be ministering on a subject called Stealing God's Covenant Altars. Stealing God's covenant altars. And this is somewhat of a prophetic word, and I'd like for you to follow me very carefully because I'm going to show you an ancient principle that occurred years ago and how it's being repeated in the land of Israel right now prophetically. Now, in the book of Zechariah chapter 3, 1 through 2, the temple was being rebuilt in Jerusalem after the Babylonian captivity, and this is what we read. "Then he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right hand to oppose him. And the Lord said to Satan, 'The Lord rebuke you, Satan. The Lord who has chosen Jerusalem rebuke you. Is this not a brand plucked out of the fire?'" Now, the reason that this is so significant is the altar, whether it be the golden altar, especially the golden altar in the temple, the right side of the altar is reserved for God. And in the Hebrew, the word Satan is the Hasatan, or the Satan, which means an adversary. And some say that this was a person and not Satan himself. However, I disagree because in the Bible, it uses the word the adversary 3 times, where God rose up an adversary against Solomon by the name of Hadad. And God rose up an adversary. And that Hebrew word adversary is Hasatan, or the Satan. But in that case, it was a person who was an adversary. But in this case, it appears to be the being Satan himself, who is literally trying to resist the things of God at the rebuilding of the temple. He's trying to